Uh-oh. Good morning. There it is right there. Welcome to Manhood. My headset on here. It's Monday today. Excited for a new week, right? Hold on. All right, we're good. We're in. Probably make sure our audio's all working everywhere, huh? I think it is. Yep, we're good. All right. Yes, this is a Bible study thing we do every day where I attempt to play Elden Ring poorly while reading through some of the Bible each day. So I'm looking forward to that. Today we're going to be going through Job, chapters 25 through 27. We've been doing Job every day here now for a little while. What's up, Heavenly Breaths? Welcome. Happy you're here. Trying to make our way up this wall real quick. I'm excited about this one. This one's where an interesting shift happens in the story. And I'm looking forward to talking through it. So we've gone from a pretty heated debate. Now Bildad's about to speak. And we've already been up here. That's where our little friendly turtle guy is. Seemingly runs out of things to say. And then Job's response is actually pretty deep and interesting. So, good morning, Bulls. Mom, welcome in. Welcome. How are you this morning? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. But before we get into that, we're going to go through a couple things here real quick. We're going to go through recap. Cody, welcome. Thanks for liking the live, man. We'll go through our daily proverb and our gratitude. Every day we go through 3 things we're thankful for. If you want to join in, you're welcome to. What is that? Oh, it's a... What's this? Oh, man. There's all sorts of cool stuff. Does this turn into something else? Okay. He's pretty powerful. That's good to know. Good to know. All right. Proverb of the day. Proverbs 11, verse 28. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. Hey, Harry, what's up? Welcome in. Happy you're here. I like this one. I find it interesting because it still echoes the... Oh, hey. It's a lot of highs, dude. Welcome. It still echoes the thought of like the shortness of man's life, because the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. It's still like a short-lived beauty, but it's just a reminder of the... I don't know, just the fragility of our longevity. It's still good. All right, gratitude for the day. I've hit a point now where my kids are at an age where we can actually play like board games and card games together, and it's actually fun, and I don't feel like I'm going to pull my hair out. And I'm super grateful for that. That's been huge. That's fun. It's a good time. They can actually understand the concept of not video games, understand the concept of... Thanks, Harry. I appreciate it. Understand the concept of how games work and use strategy and have fun with it. And that's an awesome place to get. Do I make music? Not really, no. Essentially, this guitar behind me is just for... We do kind of like a nightly devotional and worship time with the family. So I pull that down and we play worship together. Okay, Algo is doing its job. Good to hear it. Hopefully that's a positive thing. Oh, sweet. That's what we needed right there. That's what we needed. Is there a... Nope. I think the thing of value we already got out of here. I think we got it. All right, second thing. We get to go have Sunday lunch with my family every day, and that's a good time. We've been having a lot of fun with that. There's now, we moved out here a little bit ago. And to the Midwest where my parents and my 2 sisters live. And so now we've got 13 grandchildren all together. And so we get to go out there and they get to run all over the hills and have fun. So been blessed by that. And then I'm just blessed to have a young baby again that we get to actually, wants me to hold her. and, you know, like snuggle up to her. And that's super good. I like that as well. I was thinking of the panels in the mic. Yeah, that's mainly because my kids sleep on the other side of this wall. So we set up some. They don't do anything. Bear that in mind. Planotine. Planotine? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They don't do a lot of actual good work, breaking down the sound, but they're there. They're there. All right. So recap time. We're gonna go through a recap of where we've been so far. Thanks, Harry, man. I appreciate it. Tolper, thanks for following. Appreciate that. Hold on, we gotta increase our power. I think that's it. All we get. Thanks for subscribing, Harry. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's see what this guy says real quick.
You have a knack for I found the sight of it.
I haven't even opened these things. I probably need to. Is this just straight into a boss fight up here?
Hello again. Did you meet my... They're quite the congregation. Doubtless it'd have all come to blows. Were it not for the charm, the work.
All right. I'm not super excited about that. Hi from the Far East, brother. My fave game is DS1 and got back to Christ last year. I know it's too much info all of a sudden. Overwhelming. Let's go, Elden Lord. Thanks, man. Cannabear, it's cool to hear you from the East. Barbell Bull, good morning. Okay, good. As long as she'll be here in a minute, then I'll accept the hello. All right, that's good. Okay, recap to where we've been so far. Job at the beginning. He is a man characterized as blameless and upright. Good man. There's no one like him on the face of the earth. God tells the adversary that. What do we have? There's a giant in here. And he says, hey, go ahead and test him. He won't abandon me. And so he allows the enemy to come forth and to take everything from him. And one day he loses his... Hi, Mrs. Bull. Good morning. And one day he loses... Oh, man, Harry. If your parents are telling you to go to bed, God tells us to honor and obey our parents, and it'll go well with us on the face of the earth. We'll have long years. So, yeah, you probably should. Yeah, if it's 2 minutes, we're just closing the doors. I probably should remember what that's in regards to, but I don't. I'm sorry. Can I not go in this door? Oh, man. All right, let's go around. Anyway, he loses everything in one day. He loses his servants, his children. What does this say? Hold on. All of his, like, sheep, cattle, everything. And then he ends up, after that, losing his health as well. Still can't go in there. All right, well. I guess we're not going that way. And he still refused to curse God, right? And even his wife comes before him and tells him, hey, you should just lose your integrity and curse God. Child of God, good morning. And then his friends come, right? And up to this point, we've heard 3 of them speak. Spoiler alert, there is a 4th one that's going to come in a little bit later on. I don't think today. But at some point, there's actually somebody else sitting in the room with them. So, thanks for following, Child of God. I appreciate it. I'm a child of God, too. So that's pretty cool. Kind of have some similar things going on in our lives. You know what we need to do? Stop. We need to get these. We need to do that. Indeed. Yep. Me and my friend played Elden Ring. Then he's like, let's play Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 is great. You should absolutely do that. I started out when we started this channel doing Dark Souls 1. And then we shifted over to Elden Ring after. Is there another... Probably can't get to that from here, though. Yeah. Anyway, so his friends come. 3 of them start speaking, and they settle on a very simple truth that they will not get off of, and it's that, hey, listen, God is just, and so if you're suffering, it must be that you've done something evil and you need to repent. And we know that Job has not done anything evil, but that's gone not super well. They're now in kind of battle, like some sort of verbal battle against each other, arguing back and forth. So that's where we're at now. We've had Eliphaz speak. We've had Bildad speak, Zophar speak, and now we're going to come back. We're going to hear Bildad speak one more time. He's going to bring us some excellent new insight and information about the nature and character of God, and then we're going to hop in and hear Job's response to that. And if you don't know, that was a bit of a overstatement there. I know this is random, but I need prayer. I see myself turning back to my old ways again. Yeah, Paul talks about some of that. That which I don't want to do, I keep doing, and what I want to do, I don't do. Yeah, we can definitely pray for that. Absolutely. Los, welcome in. Good to have you here. Hi, Harry. Thanks for saying it over and over again. Okay. So with that, let's hop into chapter 25. We'll get into the reading here real quick. And we will go from there. What is this? Am I going to get attacked in here? First off, knight, and then seek left. Let's pull out our cool things here. Good morning, X-Man. Welcome in. Uh-oh. Isn't he the guy that we give like the eye to or something at some point? Watch this. First try. Oh, really? Sweet. Is it a dex weapon? Nope. Early. Nope. That didn't work. I gotta try it again. Thanks, Christopher. I appreciate that. That was terrible. I'm sorry. Coconut, I've let you down. All right. Job 25. Bildad, the Shuhite. This is the shortest man in the Bible. That's what my dad always says. He's a Shuhite. Anyway, sorry. That was terrible. Has answered and said. Pay attention to this. This is incredibly short, by the way. Incredibly short. It's kind of hilarious. Dominion and fear are with God. He makes peace in his high heaven. Is there any number to his armies? Upon whom does his light not arise? How then can man be in the right before him? How can he who is born of a woman be pure? Behold, even the moon is not bright, and the stars are not pure in his eyes. How much less man who is a maggot, the son of man who is a worm? So what's interesting about what he's saying here, or at least what I find interesting about it, is that how's it going so far for Elden Ring? Super good. It's fun. I'm not paying attention to much of the story because we're reading, but it's good. So what's super interesting here is he's not only repeating what he's already said in a super short way, he's also repeating what Job has already said. When he was getting attacked by these guys, and I think it was Bildad that was saying this, who's saying, hey, you must have done something wrong. Job responds by saying, listen, nobody can found truly righteous in the sight of God. Right? There's no one that can be. So this whole statement that we're gonna be found righteous before him and he's gonna take care of us just isn't true. Hold on. Is he easy to kill and I just need to stop trying to parry him? Oh man. This looks like Mesmer's spear. Rudy, why isn't the Old Testament ignored? I don't know what that means. Can you expound upon that? Like, why is it ignored or why is it not ignored? Like, do you feel like it should be ignored? Okay, so he's repeating what Job has already said to them, back to himself. He's like, listen, nobody can be found righteous. Essentially, what it's showcasing here is he's completely running out of arguments to make for his point. Because he's saying small little truths about, hey, God is big, right? God's big. He makes peace in the high heavens. His armies are greater than anything. All this is true, generally, right? God is good. It's huge. Rudy says, it's so different than the New Testament. God acts completely different. I actually would pretty vehemently disagree with that statement. I've heard it used a lot. I don't think that's true. I think that God acts incredibly similar all throughout. And I think one of the problems that we have as we read the New Testament is we read from a perspective of like letter perspective. Jail, thank you for following. All right, we're going to just try to roll this guy out. We're used to reading from the perspective of it telling you very, very transparently and straightforwardly, so this was good, this was bad. The Old Testament, in its narrative, does not speak that way. And it speaks much more in a... in just straight up... Oh, my goodness, I got to... Hold on. We'll get back to answering that in just a second. I'm just going to finish this guy off so we can move on from him. He's got a lot of pokes. So there's New and Old Testament. That's the statement we use for him. Yeah, it's both a collection of books before and after the coming of Christ, or before and during the coming of Christ is a better way to say it. All right, we're gonna get this guy. Oh, I ran out. Use Zweihander with Giant Hunt. It got really buffed. Oh my goodness. Palm Beach says terrible combination. Palm, you can keep scrolling if you don't enjoy it. Context is important. Yeah, Canterbury said that as well. I think when you're reading the Old Testament, it does not shy away from a lot of what terrible people do. Terrible people do a lot of stuff here. Kevin Oak, thank you for following. Kevin OK. We'll get him. We're going to go back and try again. Malachi, thank you for following. Cool name, by the way. So I see it very, very different. I see God showing his grace and mercy over and over again. We just read through 1 Samuel together. All throughout that book, man, God is nonstop chasing down Saul and trying to get him to turn back to him over and over again. Nonstop, he's doing it. And it is impressive to watch. His grace throughout that entire book is impressive, and he waits years and years and years and allows Saul to make mistake after mistake after mistake, and only after he is fully committed to the position that he's going to be in does he say, okay, Saul, it's over. He even sends David, who's going to replace him on the throne, to come after him over and over and over again. He does it similarly all throughout the book of the Old Testament. He is extremely gracious, extremely loving, extremely... It's just impressive what God is willing to do. But it doesn't always state it, right? People will do horrible things, and God won't bring immediate retribution on them. And it doesn't say, and that thing was bad, and he should have been punished and wasn't. It expects us to understand God's graciousness. Hold on. We're not letting him get an attack off this time. Papa. I like the prayer hands. Thanks, man. I feel like that should have hit. Hold on. We're going to get this. Oh, it's like delayed. Nice. Roll back. This has got really good reach. Context is important, especially the Old Testament. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's easy for us to miss a lot of the context when we're... Ooh, that didn't even... Oh, my goodness.
Before the flame of Mesmer.
Yeah, Donnie says, just getting through the Old Testament, even the God of that time was very gracious, even though he seemed worse. Yeah, I'm gonna go get this weapon, Noah. We're gonna beat him. I just need to play more carefully. So it's tough for me when I hear, like, even the God of that time, like, he's the same, right? And Jesus is actively partaking in this timeline as well. Like, he is active in the Old Testament. At least I believe we see a lot of times where the angel of the Lord comes forward, or certain people come forward, and they're very mysterious. And I would argue that it's likely that is Christ preeminently coming and interacting with the earth. And so I see it being exactly the same. I mean, we even see things like, if you read Revelation, it seems very similar. The God that's there is very, very similar to the God that's at. But God has, throughout all of time, right when Eve... Okay, what? Right when she sinned, he immediately tells her he's going to make a path, right? He's going to make a path for her. He's going to send someone to crush the head of the snake. And so from the very, very beginning, and God steps out and clothes them in animal skin after they sin. Oh man, that was weird. No. Okay. Well, I got stuck and I couldn't even roll. You got this for motivation, Philippians 4:13. Throw that in the chat for us so we can know what's going on. Okay, we got to get back to this reading, though. And we can keep diving into how God's the same as he's always been. I'm happy to do that because I think it's super important. All right, so Bildad hasn't really said nothing new. He's flat out said nothing new. He's given an explanation of God that, while true, is, no offense, like, it's a little bit weak, right? It's like God's big, mankind is small. They've all already said it before. And realistically, they've said it in more eloquent ways before. And so Job's running out. And then Job answers him and says, how you have helped him who has no power, how you have saved the arm of that has no strength. Oh, you've done so good for me. Thank you so much. Spencer Sparks, thanks for following. I could do anything through the power of Christ. Oh, that is good, man. Appreciate it. It strengthens me. All right, are they coming up? They are coming up. Oh, my goodness. Stop. Stop. All right. Marcus, thanks for following. I'm pretty sure we have a Marcus with the exact same like period at the end of his name as you. Donnie says, I am. I am that I am. For those, oh my, I got to stop doing that. Every single time he starts doing that, I start winding up an attack and I die. All right, we'll stop him this time. Okay, how you have saved the arm that has no power. He's being facetious here. For those of us who don't know, he's being sarcastic. He's like, oh, this is so helpful. Thank you so much for saying everything we've already said before and nothing new. Thank you. This is so great. How you have counseled him who has no wisdom and plentifully declared sound knowledge. Oh, you've done so much for us. Thank you so much, Bildad. That short response was just exactly what I needed. Now everything's better. Everything's fine. With whose help have you uttered words? Whose breath has come out from you? Oh, man, the words that just came from you were so good, it could not have just been you. Do you have any? I probably have everything. No, I haven't been using anything that I should be using. You know what we should do? Hold on. I don't want to deal with those dogs again. I'm going to go around like this. We'll poison it. How about that? Actually, that might not be super helpful with how little health he has. We'll try that. All right. Watch this. We're just going to preemptively set out some poison in front of us and have him come to us. Is he going to come? Oh, here we go. All right. With whose help have you uttered these words? Man, where are you getting all this wisdom and understanding? Are you coming? Is he? Can I just like break his posture? Hold on. Let it fill up. Let it fill up. Oh my goodness. Roll out. Roll out. Roll out. I see it every day, man. Keep it going. Justin Duncan. Thanks, dude. We are here every morning. This actually helps me, so I don't really, this is kind of just like my reading in the morning is doing this. Don't get me wrong. I do read outside of this time, but this is helpful for me because I have to actually prep it and be prepared. Man, wish I watched whole playthrough, but it's Monday, almost time for work. Oh, X-Men, I hope you have a good day. Crusade Insignia. I thought we got a weapon from this guy. Boba, good morning. Welcome. It's good to see you. See you later, dude. Have a good one. Enjoy it. All right. What's up? Oh man, we're getting more and more of these. What's this? Rune Arc. I don't think. I thought this had a weapon. Wasn't that not one of these? Crusade and say raises attack power after defeating an enemy. I probably need to get some. I probably need to get some more talisman patches. You know. All right. How you've counseled him who has no wisdom and plentifully declared sound knowledge. With whose help have you uttered words and whose breath comes out from you? Man, where are you getting all this awesome info, Bildad? That was so good. That was so helpful. He's essentially mocking him, and I think rightly so. How do you pick what you study for the day? I struggle sticking with my daily reading. Well, I mean, for this, we just pick a book, so we're hopping back and forth from the Old Testament and New Testament. And so when we finish one book, we go to the next, and we just go through it front to back. So we'll be on, oh my goodness, what is happening? They got such good reach. and I couldn't roll. I kept pushing B. It wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. I couldn't do it. So we'll be here every single morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's 5:30 a.m. my time, and we're going to be finishing all of Job, and then we'll probably hop into Erich von Erich. Welcome, good morning. We'll probably hop into like a New Testament letter, like a Paul letter or something like that, because we just did a gospel. Does anyone know how I'm supposed to get into that building there? I don't know. Very niche. Love the stream. Thank you so much. That's very, very sweet. This is very, very niche. There's a very specific group of people that will take part in this. So Job's just gotten done essentially mock talking back to what's his face, Bildad. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff coming in. From the front. Okay. I went from all the Gospels, some of Paul's letters, and now working my way from Old Testament. That's awesome. Yeah. There's certain things like if you're getting burnt, man. Like there's some books that it's like switch it up and take a break and read some of the New Testament again, or switch it up and go into some of the more like just realistically. Some people will argue with me and say this is sacrilegious. There are much more compelling books than others in the Old Testament, and I think that's absolutely true. So going into something, like if you need to take a break and go into something that you really enjoy, 1st and 2nd Samuel are a key indicator of this. TJ Miller, welcome in. Yeah, absolutely. Anomaly, thanks for following as well. I'm going to head up this way. Actually, no, I'm not. We're going to head down and go this way. I don't know where it is. End of Exodus, Leviticus, and early Numbers is quote-unquote boring, but there's a lot to be learned. There is a lot to be learned from there. A lot. I can't read your name. Is it Limbo? Thanks for following, Limbo. Leviticus being a prime example from Bull. Are you saying Leviticus is boring or not boring? I can't tell. I think Donnie is saying that it's boring. Bull, are you saying it's boring or are you saying it's like exciting? I can't tell if we're having like a difference of opinion. Is this where I just came from? Am I lost? I feel like I'm lost. I think it is. Rel, thanks for liking and following. I appreciate it. Okay, so he's about to shift here. Leviticus is going to be a rough one. It can be a rough one. It's not the most compelling narrative in the entire world. But there's a lot to be learned there. And I'm pretty sure we can make it pretty fun if we go through it all together, which I'd be happy to do, actually. Because the thing about Leviticus is, like, it can be a slog to just, like, breeze through. But if you, like, deep read it more, there's a bunch of like additional context and information in there that all connect into other aspects of the Bible and would be fun to go through. For like a nerdy guy like me that's like inputting a whole bunch of like, hey, here's how this connects to the greater story and stuff, it can actually be pretty cool. Shartimus, thank you so much for following. I'm just reading names, guys. I'm sorry if I say anything inappropriate. I can't always tell if I'm going to. Jolin, also thank you for following. I appreciate it. Oh no, hold on. We gotta move around. We got a cookbook. Man, these are much more packed areas. Much more packed. Can we go in here? What was that noise? I don't know what that was. Oh, my computer can't even handle it. And so too has a powerful charm. I don't know what that means. Who broke their rune? Oh man, I couldn't even see. We got to put on our. Okay, sorry. We got to get back to reading this thing because I'm not gonna ever get through the end of it. So let's keep going. Okay. Okay, so he's just got done saying, "Oh, Bildad, you're so incredible. Thank you so much for all the help, all this brand new information. That's exactly what we've already just talked about. Thank you." And then he shifts, and essentially I'll read some of it, and then I'll say what he's doing here. So the dead tremble under the water and their inhabitants. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. Abaddon is a depiction of, I believe it's desolation. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it's like Sheol is similar. They're like personified. What would you call that? Like a personified representations of like death or of destruction. or of the end, right? So Abaddon is like a personification of death, while Sheol is the place where the dead go. Right. So Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. He stretches out the north over the void and hangs the earth on nothing. So what he's doing here is he's taking this like 3-sentence response from Bildad and being like, yeah, great, so helpful. Here, let me actually show you what true wisdom is. Let me show you what a true proclamation of God's greatness is. And so he's taking it to like a beautiful depiction of how great and large and mighty and high God is, in response to Bildad's, he's bigger than the moon, or he's brighter than the moon, and people are small before him. Is this where the... Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, I think I just rolled the wrong way. I think that was my issue there. All right, he hangs the earth on nothing. He binds up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not split under them. He covers the face of the full moon. You say he's brighter than the moon. He can even cover up the moon with his cloud, right? He covers the face of the full moon, spreads over it his cloud. He has inscribed a circle on the face of the waters. He puts a boundary between light and darkness. The pillars of heaven tremble and are astounded at his rebuke. By his power he stilled the sea. By his understanding he shattered Rahab. Rahab also, for those of you who don't know, is a personification of chaos, right? The sea was viewed as this concept of like grand chaos. A bunch of the Eastern religions at the time also viewed that everything came from chaos. And so constantly throughout the early Old Testament, you'll see this kind of rebuke labeled by people that follow the true God, where they're like, listen, we got out of that one. Listen, it's not chaos that brings about it, but God. Oh my goodness. We're going to struggle. But God brings what's the word? Okay, I'm struggling. And I can't even think while I do it. He brings order to the chaos. There you go. So when he says he shattered Rahab, Rahab is often personified as like a large Leviathan-like beast from the depths of the ocean. And so he's saying, hey, God, like the sea was seen as like this element of chaos, and so he's making the point that, man, God has like brought about boundaries to the ocean itself. He's made still the sea this thing of chaotic stuff. This has to be the worst game to try and study while playing. Although I don't know, it might be, Donnie. That's part of the fun, though. And then he says he shattered Rahab, so he shattered this personification of the chaos of the sea, and by his wind, the heavens were made fair. His hand pierced the fleeing serpent. Behold, these are but the outskirts of his ways. These aren't even the depths of what I understand of him, but it's much more than what you said when you were speaking. And how small a whisper do we hear of him, but the thunder of his power, who can understand? And so it's this acknowledgement that it's like, hey, he is too great for us. You're right. But he's much greater than what you just explained. And then what he's about to do is he's going to... Hold on. Man, he kills me so fast. So fast. He's about to defend his honor here in just a second as well. But he takes Bildad's conversation and goes much further with it. Okay, let's kill this guy real quick and then we'll keep going. Key life application, though, out of this one chapter, because this is the end of a chapter here, is... Oh, I got to step off of that. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Hold on. Everyone's still. Here we go. Now they're both poisoned. Oh my goodness, he's so quick. All right, we're good. We got it. I need my buddy to attack. I rolled right into it. Nope, we're dead. We'll have to come back and try again. One of the things Job's trying to do there, by the way, is he's trying to showcase that he understands as much, if not more, than any of his friends do about the nature of who God is and his greatness. Right? They keep trying to, quote unquote, teach him. Why am I not going in? There we go. And his point is, everything that you're talking about, I already know. And yet you want me to take what you're saying as some sort of, I am rolling. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand. We're going to try again. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. So Job takes up his discourse again and says, as God lives, who has taken away my right? So again, he's pointing back to God. He's like, God is the one who's taken away my right. And the Almighty, who has made my soul bitter, as long as my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils, as long as he doesn't actually kill me, my lips will not speak falsehood, and my tongue will not utter deceit. And what he takes from that is, so he says, far be it from me to say that you are right. I cannot agree with you, because that would be to lie. Did you guys see that roll? We're starting to figure it out now. We're getting his move pattern in. Oh my goodness! I thought he was focused the other guy. Okay, never mind. We thought we were getting his move pattern, and we're not. We're not. I think this leads to Mesmer. Should we go and like find more Shadow Tree fragments before we just like throw headlong into? I think we probably should, because I think Shadow Keep, isn't that where Mesmer is? I think your name's Limbo. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Limbo, I'm actually Mountain Time. So it's like 6 a.m. for me right now. I think we're going to go and traverse the land a little bit more before we try and do this, because I'm pretty sure this is where Mesmer lives. If I'm not, I could be mistaken there. Currently 5 a.m. for me, 2 more hours of work left. Oh, Donnie, are you Pacific? That's intense, man. Wow. So you're still awake and working. We should figure out how to get down to here. I don't know how we do it. What is this area? Do we need to go out the back door? Is that where we had to get to this area? This is one of the things that's super confusing about this game to me, is it's very, very hard to like track how to get places with how like many levels there are and all this stuff. Like, how do I get to this thing right here? That's a question. This is where that dragon was, I think, right? And then we actually haven't gone into here. Maybe we should do that. That's probably what we should do. This is probably made more for our speed. Okay. So the Almighty, who has made my soul bitter, as long as my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils, my lips will not speak falsehood. You won't get me to agree with you. Brian, thanks for liking the live, man. You won't get me to agree with you that I'm in the wrong. Far be it from me. Man, that's a 12-hour shift, dude. That's a lot. That is a lot. Hope you have plenty of energy. Okay, so he says, far be it from me to say that you are right. Till I die, I will not put away my integrity from me. I hold fast to my righteousness and will not let it go. You won't get me to agree with you. You think you know more about God than I do? You don't. I know just as much as you know about him. I know that I would need to repent if I had done wrong, but I haven't done wrong. And for me to agree with you, essentially saying it would be lying. It would also be speaking falsely about God. It would be saying God is doing something he's not doing, which is disciplining the unrighteous. And I can't agree with you there, because that's not what he's doing here. I don't know what he's doing, right? Like Job makes that clear. It's like, I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here, but I do know that it's not disciplining me for my lack of righteousness. That's not what's going on. And I will not lie and agree with you and say that is what's happening here. I refuse. My heart does not reproach me for any of my days. Let my enemy be as the wicked. What is that? Let's just take it slow, take it simple. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. I pray that every single morning, Donnie. That's what I pray every morning. Just let me work as unto you and not unto myself. Oh, man. Yeah. Yep. Can't see him. There we go. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. You know what? I'm not enjoying that fight too much. Hello. My goodness, I was trying to get him to. I come into work in a good mood, try to do my best, and go home in a good mood. Amen. Good call. Is that just a candle? What is that? Oh, it's a torch. All right. My heart does not reproach me for any of my days. Let my enemy be as the wicked, and let him who rises up against me be as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the godless when God cuts him off, when God takes away his life? Will God hear his cry? When distress comes upon him, will he take delight in the Almighty? Will he call upon God at all times? I will teach you concerning the hand of God. Listen, I'm dealing with an element of suffering that you can't even fathom, and I'm still seeking God. I'm still looking for God in the midst of that. And I'll continue to, and I will showcase what this looks like, right? Do the wicked do this? No, they do not. They don't hold fast to the name of God when they are being torn down by him. Behold, all of you have seen it yourself. Why then do you become altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage that oppressors receive from the Almighty. If his children are multiplied, it is for the sword. So now he's going back and he's essentially affirming what they've been saying, right? He's agreeing with the concept that we got it that time. He's agreeing with the concept that it's like, yes, the wicked do not ultimately prosper, right? And I stand by what I said before, that it does seem to take time, and there are times where I do see that they seem to just be blessed, right? And there is no curse that comes in the time of life that I get to see. But I do agree, right? Even if God does multiply their children, he does give them more than what I think is worthy. It's for the sake of God either changing them or preparing them for destruction, right? It does not come to, my goodness, they do so much damage. It does not come to fulfillment, right? If his children are multiplied, it is for the sword, and his descendants have not enough bread. Those who survived him, the pestilence buries, and the wisdom do not weep, and his widows do not weep, Though he heap up silver like dust and pile up clothing like clay, he may pile it up, but the righteous will wear it, and the innocent will divide the silver. So what he's saying here is he's reaffirming, I know that God will have his way. I know that judgment will be had for evil, and that uplifting will happen for the righteous. He will take care of those that love him and that he loves, and he will tear down those that reject him and that hate him, right? Even if I don't get to see it in my timing. He builds up his house like a moth's, like a booth that a watchman makes. He goes to bed rich, but will do so no more. Papa Octo, thank you for following. He goes to bed rich, but will do so no more. He opens his eyes, and his wealth is gone. Terrors overtake him like a flood. In the night, a whirlwind carries him off. The east wind lifts him up, and he is gone. From what I can tell from reading up to this point, and I could be wrong here, it seems like this concept of an east wind is a wind that brings war. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like every time I see this now, it has some sort of element of enemies are coming on the east wind. Where are you at so I can follow along? We are finishing out 27 right now. We're in verse 20 of chapter 27 of Job. Watch this. Nice. You can see that was crazy. That was crazy. All right. Terrors overtake him like a flood. In the night, a whirlwind carries him off. Oh, I'm getting stabbed by a... Hold on. We got him. We got him. Bat Max. Thanks for following, man. Mesmer Soldier Spear. That's what we need. We got him. All right. So the east wind lifts him up, and he is gone. It sweeps him out of his place. It hurls him without pity, and he flees from its power. In headlong flight, it claps its hands at him and hisses at him from his place. So Job is essentially compiling everything they've just discussed, saying, hey, listen, the root of y'all's statements is true, right? These guys do generally understand who God is. I thought that was like someone crouched in a corner. These guys generally understand God. They over-apply their knowledge of God in areas that are just false and untrue, right? Job is not suffering because he's unrighteous, not suffering because he's wicked. And they are holding so fast to these claims without the thought of, hey, there may be something unique going on here. There may be something different. There may be something that we can't understand happening here. And we may not have all the answers in the whole picture. And so what Job is doing is he's culminating everything they've said up to this point, agreeing with them and deepening their understanding and meaning of it, right? Even if he's doing it in a way that's somewhat flustered and like upset, I guess would be the word. So he takes these thoughts and he's like, listen, y'all's understanding what's milady. I have a deep sense that we're going to want to use that. I could be wrong. Is it up high? That's one of the issues with this thing is, man, there's so many weapons and I don't know how to find. There it is. Light greatsword. Let's see how it feels. We'll go down there real quick and then we'll do it. Oh, it's like a flowy thing. What is this? Okay. What does this do? Does it keep going if you keep holding it down? No. That was cool. I do like these backhand blades, though. Be wary of up. Okay. Good to know. All right, quick thing here. Let's go to... We need to start closing out our life application piece. Huh? How do we apply this to our own lives? That's where I usually try to land. Do you think they drop down from up there? How do we get up there? Oh, man. I feel like someone big's going to be right over here. Flight pinion. Oh, missed him. Missed him. There we go. One of the things that's super important, I'm impressed if I could walk up there. At least for this concept of Job's response. Let's do it. Down ahead. Is some of us are more prone to just like, man, if someone's arguing with us, we're more prone to just being like, yep, they're probably right. Yep, they're probably right and I'm probably wrong, and we should just allow them to say what they want to say and just agree in order to keep the peace. And one of the things that we can learn here is, man, on Job's side, it's don't compromise truth just to satisfy others. Right? If you know something to be right, don't compromise. On Bildad's side, I don't know if I can fight that guy. He scares me. Yup. Yup. On Bildad's side, a lot of it is, man, if you're there to provide somebody with support, he's coming in. He's coming in. Nope, that didn't work. We're moving on. We're moving up the hill. We're going in. Oh, look at this. Nope, that doesn't help. Am I stepping? It seems like I'm going past his guard. Goodness, dude. Do it again. Oh, we gotta read that message. We did it. Great job, everybody. We did it. All right, the other thing that I think to stand out here is I'm reading through at least Job's responses is, and I think Bill does, is, hey, man, like, you don't have to over-apply things. You don't have to, like, have your point made. Sometimes just being there for somebody is all you need to do. You don't need to give all your feedback and insight and reasons why you think you understand everything. Because oftentimes we don't. We don't actually know what God's doing. And we can be more hurtful than helpful if we're not careful. But for Job is also, man, like, we can stand firm in our faith without having all the answers. Things don't always have to make sense for us to, like, continue to stand firm in what we believe. And I think that's important as well, is there are going to be times where we're not told everything. We don't get to see all the ins and outs of what God is doing. Left, oh, left, what? Did we go this way? No. No, there's nothing to the left. There's nothing to the left. Guess we have to go down here, huh? All right. What if I say the wrong thing and lead them away from God rather than closer? Well, so I think there's two sides of this. One of which is, yeah, we need to be careful how we speak to certain people. Hold on, I got to put my lantern on so I can actually see what's going on over here. Yeah, we do need to be careful how we talk to people. One of the things that I will say that is unique to us, that none of these guys had, was the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. Blue, if this isn't for you, man, feel free to scroll on, dude. If you have a conviction against this kind of a thing, I welcome you to head somewhere else. We're just enjoying reading the Bible together. I'm not making any hits. What I will say, though, about that... Hold on. Oh, I missed. What I will say about that, though, is, man, if you're feeling... Jolin, thank you so much for sharing the live, man. I appreciate it. Like, if I say the wrong thing and lead them away from God, man, I don't think we need to stress as much as we do. We have the indwelling of the Spirit, man. We're told to not be worried about what we say because God will give us the words to say. And so, well, yeah, we want to be careful to not, like, try to over-apply truth to someone who's struggling in a situation or over-apply what we think we know. There's also the grace that, like, man, if God's put you in a room with somebody to, like, share or talk to them, not getting over concerned about what you say or what you don't say, but not over complicating it either. It's like God's going to give you the words to say if he wants to. You know, and we can rest in that. We don't have to have the perfect things to say. We also don't have to say nothing, you know. So it depends on kind of what we're talking about there. But I think we can get caught up going too far into either direction. Starlight shards. Sweet. All right. With that, we got about 4 minutes left. If there's anything else you guys got, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to keep running around here for a couple minutes, and then we will break until tomorrow morning. But we're here every day. Same time at 7:30 a.m. I just fell. Oh, no, I didn't. Good. Okay. 7:30 a.m. Eastern. It's 5:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're going to go through, I think we're probably going through like 28 to 31 tomorrow. That's the rest of Job's speech. It might be 30. I can't remember. And then we'll jump into Elihu, who we haven't heard anything from yet, which I'm very, very interested in. I forgot that he was even around. I was having my wife read some of this stuff to me. Look at these nice little turtles. And then she came across Elihu, and I was like, oh, man, I forgot that guy was even there. This looks like a boss arena. I have discussions with a coworker about it, and I can never tell his stance. Yeah, that's all right. With someone like a coworker, where you're able to be around and like consistently be in the presence of these people, there's a lot less pressure, man, because it's not like it's a one and done. I'm never going to see this person again, and if I don't have this conversation now, it's not going to work. Or I'm never going to see him again. That's one of the things that's a blessing. It's like there's like 40 people at our company that I work with, and it can be a marathon, not a sprint, you know. Sometimes it seems like he wants to get close to God. Other times he just wants to test things. Yeah. But there's going to be, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. There's going to be constantly, I'm pushing the wrong button. Hold on. No, I pushed the wrong button again. Nope, I died. I'm going to come back up. All right. Oh, sorry. So what I was saying is like, man, when we're struggling with someone who like, hey, it seems like sometimes they want to follow. It seems like sometimes they're just like literally testing things. I don't know which one they're doing or where they're at. One of the important things to remember is like, man, as we're struggling in our flesh, right? As we're like considering things, we're going to have like times where things are like we're good and we're pursuing, and then times where it seems like it could even be mockery, you know? And it's okay, right? God's the one that has to change hearts, not us. Like I don't have to save anyone. I don't have the capability of changing anybody's hearts. But God does, and he can do that, right? Socrates asks, what is power without the Austrian painter coming back alive? What is power without the Austrian painter? I don't know what that means. But you're welcome to hang out here if you want to go through the Bible with us. Watch this. Oh, man. How do I get to go the other way? There we go. We got it flawlessly that time. That went good. That went good. Hey, we're inside. We did it. Let's do this. All right, we got 1 minute. I appreciate you being here. Donnie, I appreciate the engagement, man. Oh, Train, I didn't even see that you were here. I'm so sorry. I totally missed your message. It's good to see you, man. Please forgive me. Please. Oh, Donnie, thank you for following. Man, I just ignored Train like all morning. Hold on. Worked out so well. I like these. I like these a lot. Except for it doesn't always make it clear. I'll be at work every day for the next month straight. So, okay, sounds good. I'll probably catch you okay, cool, man. Yeah. Love for you too. We'll be here in the morning. We'll be going through a few chapters. In the meantime, I got to go get ready for work and head off. But I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the follows today. Huge blessing. In the meantime, keep Christ the center focus of your life. Stay in step with the Spirit, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning. You guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you then.